Going broke on webcam models is like paying for fresh air. He needs to change his name to Larry Steels. Some people are not meant to be wealthy. Bro snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. You can run, but you can't hide from Johnny Bravo 2028. We got a new asshole. I never thought I'd get excited hearing that. Dude makes millions and didn't have $50,000 to put towards his dream mansion. Tell you everything you need to know. 5 figures a day on a sharmuta that isn't even present or touching you. All those muscles don't mean shit when you're a buster. And so, Larry, if you're watching this or watching John Bravo, pay the guy back. Coach Greg, and this is not the video I wanted to make, and many of you are going to be extremely disappointed. And this is all about Larry Reels. John Bravo released a video exposing Larry, and I'm not talking about lost photos of when Larry previously had set up his OF account. I'm talking about Larry Steels. The amount of money that this man has wasted to get to the point where he has to rip off his friends in order to make a down payment on a house. Well, can you get any lower than this? And so let's get into the video. It was very hard for me to watch. It was very disappointing to find out these things about Larry. Hopefully he could perhaps watch these videos, repay back his friends, and move on with his life.
I got text messages. I got it all. So we got a new asshole today.
We got a new asshole today. I mean, I was thinking perhaps he could be using Sweet and Blow, but it's for a new asshole. And so you really got to lube it up. Perhaps he's going to be friends with Wes Watson. I mean, if one of your best friends is this kind of asshole, who needs an asshole? You may as well hang out with Wes Watson and get pegged.
But also, for abusing PEDs since he was 17 years old and never coming off like an asshole.
I mean, honestly, I thought he had been on steroids since 15. Apparently, it's been since he was 17. And so perhaps that's affected his brain cells. In other words, he doesn't have the intelligence to save any of his money. I mean, Larry has more followers than me. How is he not making millions and millions of dollars? Where did he spend it all? On cam girls? Really?
Last year I made a video saying I stopped steroids. And I had, as of 3 months ago, relapsed and gone back on a full steroid cycle.
I mean, you remember I covered these videos about Larry? I mean, I've done how many videos on Larry? Probably 20. He said he's going to stop using steroids because he cared about his health, and then he jumped back on, and 3 months later, he's like, yeah, I relapsed. I mean, was that supposed to be a joke? Was it supposed to be funny? I mean, why say you're going to do something if you're really not going to do it? What is the point? And so it really hurts to make this video because I like Larry, and I'm certain that many of you feel the same way. You watch his videos training with various famous people around the world, some of the strongest men on earth, and he's very entertaining. And so to find out that he's doing all of these horrible things, well, it really does in fact hurt.
He told everyone that he had an addiction to jerking off to webcam sharmutas.
I mean, with all of this that he'd been doing with the sharmuta phone cam webcam girls, you'd think he could have handled that 4-hour workout with Smayev, where they literally did this for 3 to 4 hours. I'm not making this show. Did you watch the video? Go and check it out on Larry's wall, an hour and 25 minutes. And remember, go and click and like and subscribe to Larry and buy his powerlifting belts because apparently he's broke. He has no money, and maybe if he makes enough money, he'll pay his friends back.
He tried to start an OnlyFans, right? But then he took it down real quick, realizing that nobody wanted to see that shit.
I mean, no one wanted to see that shit. I think he had gotten 68 subscribers No one wanted to see Larry Wheels. I mean, let's be honest, most people who go to OF accounts are going there to see girls. And so unless you're gay and you got a big male gay audience, guys aren't going to go in there to go and check you out. Perhaps if you have several different sharmutas that you're doing content with, they're going to go and check those girls out and you happen to be there, but you're not making millions of dollars as a straight man on OF.
So when I first saw Larry, years ago when he first came on the scene, you guys remember that show? Family Matters with that little nerd asshole who was always doing stupid shit, Steve Urkel?
You remember Steve Urkel or Stefan or Cal? His alter ego. This was my favorite show growing up. Did I do that?
Did I do that?
The last, I want to say 8 months, every single month, I have been spending any and every last bit of extra money that I have come in monthly on campsites.
Imagine being this addicted. $10,000 a day, 5 figures, times 30. That's a big number. I can't even add it up. It's $300,000 a month.
Adrian.
Talking to a girl on a phone. And you all think that promoting gambling is okay. Like, gambling is way worse than cam girls. More people are losing their homes, their life savings, they're addicted to gambling, and yet it's everywhere. Everyone's promoting it. And Larry falls prey to sharmutas on the phone telling him how fast to move his arm up and down? Really? I don't get it. Now, I understand some people, they're perhaps going to pay a girl to come over, go on dates and so on. But the girl's on the phone.
What's that on?
On these sites and stuff.
Oh, probably like 5 figures a day.
All of his money. Every last cent, to the point of going in debt. Larry has over 3 million followers. I can't imagine spending that much money ever. I don't know what people would do with it. And so, what is he just giving the cam girls 10 times more than they're charging? Like, how many hours a day and with who would you have to talk to in order to charge that much? That's more than I charge for even coaching. And so, Larry, instead of spending all your money on cam girls, perhaps you need to hire Coach Greg to coach you, and I can tell you what to do with your money. Hey, Larry, don't spend $10,000 a day on that charmuta. Let's cap it at $1,000 a day, Larry. Is that not enough?
It was because his girlfriend at the time told him, listen, I caught you doing this shit. Unless you go online and tell everybody what you did, right, like a little bitch simp, I'm gonna leave you.
I have a different theory than that. It could be because she made him do it, but I think that Larry's doing it because, well, it's news. And when you're open, honest, and transparent, people are going to listen to you. Hey, if he's willing to open up about the fact that he's addicted to cam girls, spending $10,000 a day on them, that he's gone flat broke, then, well, I believe anything that Larry says. I mean, think of it. If Larry says, this is my cycle, it's 300 milligrams a test, this much, I'm going to believe him. Bro opened up and admitted to having a cam girl addiction. And so when he then later says to his friend, I need $50,000 to get 3% of my company, and I'll pay you. It's going to be worth way more than that. It's really a good deal because I need to buy my dream home. Well, I'm going to believe him. I mean, this is Larry. It's not Larry the liar. It's Larry he'll admit everything. He'll overshare. And so is that what Larry's plan was all along? Is he in fact lying about the cam girl spending $10,000 a day? Has it actually been Larry lies all along? Oh, I'm going to go off of testosterone. Did he actually go off? Hey, I've relapsed. What if he had never gone off of it in the first place? And what if he didn't spend all his money on cam girls? What if he was addicted to something else, perhaps far worse? Maybe it was in fact gambling. Or perhaps he wasted all of his money on fast cars and perhaps fast girls who show up to his house, doing things in person. Was it in fact a cover-up?
And don't forget, this asshole was making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on YouTube and not even counting his PR.
I mean, are you not making more than $1 million a year on YouTube if you're spending $300,000 in a month on cam girls? Like, you just need to do some of the quick math. If he's spending $10,000 a day, that's $3.65 million a year. Like, that is a lot of money. When you're making 10 grand plus a day, you're doing exceedingly well.
Nobody wants to see Steve Urkel jerking off. He took that shit down.
I mean, do you all remember the Larry Wheels OnlyFans thing? I certainly do. He then made a video. He responded the next day or so, perhaps it was up for 1 or 2 days, and said it was a social experiment just to see what people would do. No, it wasn't. This is what people do in today's day and age. They cover themselves after the fact. Whatever goes down, they then think after the fact, oh, I'm going to give a story that has plausible deniability. And so rather than saying, hey guys, I was desperate for money. I thought I would have at least 1,000 people out there that would want to see me naked on OF, but turns out there was only 68. And so I'm shutting my channel down and I'm refunding everyone their money. It was a social experiment just to see how stupid you guys were. No, it wasn't.
Plaintiff entered into contract with defendants where defendant promised 3% ownership of defendant's company in consideration of $50,000 from plaintiff.
Imagine being so desperate for money and so bad with your money that you offer to sell 3% of your company for $50,000. Like, think of it. You own 100% of your company. Let's say you're Coach Greg, and you're so desperate for money that you say, here's 3%. If you give me $50,000 because I want to buy my mansion or a McLaren or something, what are you doing with your money? Like, wait another week and you'll have the $50,000. I don't get what he's doing. It seems ridiculous. And so as your friend, you're thinking, yeah, $50,000, 3%, that's actually worth a lot. Larry's stock is on the rise. I'm going to be getting 3% of his profits on his company every single month for life. And upon the sale of his company, which probably going to be worth twice as much, I'm going to double my money. It's a sure thing. I'm locked in. And so a gambling man is thinking, there's no way I'm not taking this deal. And so he buys in. But Larry only pays him for a few months. Stops paying him. Year goes by. Takes it up in court. How could Larry let this go to court with a former close friend? I mean, it would be bad enough if it was a stranger. That's bad enough. It's one of his close buddies that he did this to, who had to borrow money from his dad in order to come up with the $50,000. It's so bad. That is why I feel bad about this. I cannot imagine taking advantage of someone like that. I mean, when I was younger, I lent my friend, he was over $23,000. That was essentially my life savings at the time. Remember, this is about 23 years ago. It's a lot of money. I said, well, he's going to pay me back. He has a great job as a lobster fisherman and as a postal worker and so on. And so no problem, he'll pay me back. Bro then leaves the province, leaves his wife and kid behind, and refuses to pay me back while going and buying a Ford F-150 vehicle of some sorts. And he's bragging about it to my friends at a gambling table. You think I forget this? And so Francis Landry from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, that's what I think of you. Piece of shit. Talk about Larry Wheels. This is the guy who did it to me. Imagine, I'm a young Coach Greg, I'm a school teacher, and I have the niceness to give him all of my money, and then he just flees and doesn't pay a friggin' cent back. This is a true story. Do I look like I'm lying?
I don't gotta look like an asshole with those stings hanging down. These stings are great.
And so if you're interested in the ear canceling device, be sure to use code John Bravo for 30% off.
Invest it into the business and into property and whatever else makes sense at the time where opportunity arises, and not spend it on the things that are going to make me lose everything.
I mean, does this not sound like Togi? Like, how are these guys making millions of dollars and not saving their money? Like, what did they miss out in school? Was there a day in school where they taught people about financial responsibility and not spending all of your money? You know, spending your money when you're wealthy should be like the tip of the iceberg. Whatever you spend, 10% of your money, it's what's on top. Everything else, it's below the surface of the water. The 90%, it's invested. You're buying real estate, you're buying stocks, shares, even Bitcoin, but you're not spending it on cam girl sharmutas with nothing left to spare. he had to borrow money to put a down payment on a house. How could he have not paid for the house in full? It's Larry freaking Wheels. The house wasn't even expensive, $1.8 million, and he didn't have enough money for a down payment. This is ridiculous.
I spent so much money on cars over the year, wasted a lot of money.
What cars is Larry buying? A Cox, Nigga, Bugatti? What the heck is going on? I don't understand how Larry can't at least afford to buy a few supercars. I mean, if they're not in the millions of dollars, why can't he buy supercars, put a down payment on his home? What is wrong with Larry? Larry the Lobster.
And I regret it. You know, I had a great time. I've driven every car I can think of.
He's driven every car he can think of. What does he do? Go to a racetrack and give somebody $100,000 and say, can I drive it for an hour? Like, how do you spend this much money? I don't get it. Can someone explain it to me?
He goes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sell 10% of shares of my company PR, which we know makes millions of dollars a year, right?
So here's the thing. PR doesn't make millions of dollars a year. Like, we just need to be realistic and do some quick math. If they made $2.1 million in sales and it's 70% profit, that's about $1.47 million. About $1.5 million. That is not, let's call it pocket money. You don't just get to put all that money in your pocket. There are several different things that are going to happen. You have people that you have to pay. I have 15 employees, so just because I'm making millions of dollars doesn't mean that every month I get to keep millions of dollars. It doesn't work like that. You have to pay expenses, lawyers, accountants, customer service, employees, and
fees. Do you know how much fees I have to spend every single year? Over $1 million. It's ridiculous. Shopify fees, this percent of that, PayPal, whatever you're spending, there are fees. And then when you go and pay yourself, in Canada, it's over 50% tax. And so, for example, when I took out $4 million, I had to pay $2 million in taxes. It's a lot.
And he said to him, listen, I'm going to give you an offer. I'll give you 3% of the company, which is usually $150,000.
Imagine saying, I'm going to give you 3% of the company, which is usually $150,000. You're just making numbers up. Hey, we sold $2.1 million in products and it's a 70% profit. And so that's $1.4 million. And so if you give me $50,000, I'm going to give you 3%. It's not usually $150,000. He hasn't sold any of this. So he probably did some quick math and thought, you know what? 3% of $1.47 million in profit is $44,000 a year. And so if I give him $50,000 now, I'm going to probably recoup about $44,000 back this year. Already almost made my money back. And then next year, maybe the same or even more. And if he ever sells this company, I'm going to make even more money. And so this is a deal I can't refuse. Larry, could you please sell me all of it? Only thing is, the company isn't actually making that much money, because if it was, how could Larry not have $50,000 for a down payment on his home? Like, you need to do some really, really quick math. Analyze the person that you're talking to. If they claim to be making millions of dollars but don't have $50,000 from somebody who's broke and needs to borrow from his dad, there's something wrong with that person. The fact that he would even ask. Why would he ask him for money? Larry should have so much money that he could have gave his friend $50,000 if he felt like it, not the other way around.
So Daniel looked at it as, you know what? This could end up being a great deal for me, and he trusted Larry.
One thing you can't do with friends is trust them with business. Like, I trusted my best friend who was living with me for multiple years to lend him that money, and yet here we are 20 plus years later, haven't seen 1 cent of it back. Now, you might be thinking, Coach Greg, but you're rich, you're wealthy, why would you need it? It's the principle of it. I would never do that to someone. I don't care how much money that they have. If Mr. Beast lent me $10,000, I would be paying Mr. Beast back. And so you know what this Francis does? He buys a house, but not under his name, because, you know, if that had happened, then, well, in the courts, they would have to give it back. And so what they do, declare bankruptcy. Wow, on purpose to avoid paying Coach Greg. And remember, this is before Coach Greg had money. I was a school teacher.
And he even encouraged him. He sent him a text saying, listen, I ordered over $5 million in product for Black Friday alone.
So this is where you know that people are just lying pieces of shit. I ordered $5 million worth of product for Black Friday alone. $5 million for 1 week. Let's call it the month. You think that Larry Wheels is making that kind of money? If he actually had that kind of money, he would say, oh my God, no one's paid you that money that's been owed. Here's your $50,000 back. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. I can't believe this has happened. Look, I don't want to have to keep paying you the whole 3% thing. That was a mistake, but here's all your money back and here's an extra $10,000. I'm really sorry it went this way. I'm not that kind of person. Perhaps I was in my past, but I'm trying to do you right now. And so, Larry, if you're watching this or watching John Bravo, pay the guy back. I mean, even if it's $5 million a year, that's still more money than most people are making. I mean, 70% profits, $5 million, $3.5 million, even after paying expenses and so on, you're still going to be a millionaire. Pay the brother back.
Asking, where's the payment? I need the money for this. I have electricity, I got to pay for electricity in my house.
Imagine writing into Larry and saying, my electricity's being shut off. I don't have any money. I borrowed all the money from my dad. I have loans to make. I can't make those payments. I need that money to come in each and every month. I expected that I'd be probably making at least $1,000 a month. And so it's money that I need. And you, Larry, you're making what? $100,000 a month? I mean, you're spending $10,000 a month on cam girls. Could you perhaps give me a phone call? I'll tell you how fast to stroke it. I'm desperate for money, Larry. Please give me some money.
And every time I reach out to him, Larry just jerked him off.
So why couldn't Larry just jerk himself off instead of jerking off his friend? Remember, on Larry's last video with Shmaev, he said to save money, he booked a trip on a Tuesday, showed up to the airport, and then got a first-class ticket for half price. And so Larry isn't making tens of millions of dollars, because if he was, perhaps if he's as frugal chic as Coach Greg, leave that in, it's a friggin' reference to something that me and Mepsagram were talking. Anyway, then perhaps he's just really good with his money and that he's saving it. But does that sound like Larry? To be really good with his money and he's just saving it. Larry, the man who has gone broke on cam girls, spends money all on his cars and hasn't saved for his future and had to borrow money by tricking people into investing in his company to put a down payment on the house. Does that sound like somebody with tens of millions of dollars? Or does that sound like somebody who's broke, who's going to the airport and spending all his last savings traveling to Russia to try to convince Shmaev to work with him?
To try to serve a good example on not to waste your money, not to start PEDs at 16 years old.
And so if Larry's trying to be a good role model, trying to do the right thing, he has to start doing the right thing right now. And he needs to start practicing what he preaches on himself. And so you may not be able to trust Larry, but one thing you can do is trust Coach Greg. Ajuga Turkistanica in Turk Platinum as well as Turk Builder Max. It's 100% authentic from Uzbekistan. It's not the copycat plant from Cyanosis. And we have a money-back guarantee and a $20 gift card. If it doesn't exceed your expectations, all the money you spent on it, you get it back. And on top of that, you get a $20 gift card. And so you literally have nothing to lose, but only something to gain. And if you're interested, code Greg, 15% off. Don't forget, if you want to get your blood work done, go to AlgoRx. Doctors can prescribe to you enclomiphene, testosterone, Cialis, Ozempic, terzipatide. The list goes on. And it's approximately 50% of the price of Merrick Health. And so unless you're as rich as Larry Wheels and want to blast away all of your money, then, well, perhaps you don't want to go to Merrick Health. Try Merrick Health first. Look at their prices. Memorize them. Go to AlgoRx. And then make the decision that's best for you. I'm not going to say where to shop. Shop where you think you should put your money to. And if you do choose AlgoRx, code Greg for 10% off. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like that video, like this video, and watch that one and like it as well. The S'mores Seco Bar is 50% off. It only costs $20 for a box of 12. There's 20 grams of protein and 230 calories, and it's softer than freaking last time. It's so freaking amazing. Now, unfortunately, not everything soft is good. And so if you're having trouble with the downstairs, consider getting harder than last time. Larry Wheels, perhaps he needs this after doing all of this with Smyev for 1.5 straight hours. Actually, it was 4 hours. And so if you're interested in any of my supplements, code Greg, 15% off. If you want to get sponsored by HDLT supplements, click the link. We get sponsors as well as ambassadors if you have smaller followings and so on. Get to the website, and if you want to carry all of the HDLT supplement stores or in gyms, click the link as well. And until next time, I am out.